We're going to start our drawing of the screw by drawing some XZ planes. So we want to draw an XZ plane that is 8 in the X by 5 in the Z. Okay, so we're going to start, say, right here. And we're going to go 8 in the X. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then when I say in the Z, it's going to be one diagonal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the Z. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the Z. Okay. So we're just going to connect those dots. Some stuff's going to end up getting erased, but we're going to leave these. Okay, we're also going to draw another XZ plane, and I want to draw this one, say, maybe like right here. Okay, I'm just going to draw another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the corners should correspond. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so again, the corners of the planes should all match up on the same line. If they don't, then you may have miscounted somewhere. Okay, so we've got our two XZ planes. Let's see, the height here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 in the Y, right? That's how far apart they're separated. Okay, now we want to draw a smaller plane, XZ plane, that's in the middle of the XZ plane. Okay, so we want our inside plane to be 2 boxes in from the edge in the X direction. So 1, 2. Okay, it's going to be 1 box up from the X side here. So 1 box up. So 2 boxes over. So, 1, 2, and then 1 box up. So 2 boxes over and then 1 box up. Okay, so this is going to be our inside plane. So I'm just going to connect those dots. Okay, so this plane is 1, 2, 3 in the Z. So we have a large XZ that is 8 in the X by 5 in the Z. And then we have a small XZ plane that is, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 in the X, and then 1, 2, 3 in the Z. Okay, we're going to do the same thing down here. Okay, so we have our planes. Now we're going to draw the circles, the cylinders. If you remember, the screw was a smaller cylinder inside of a larger cylinder. Okay, so that's why we drew a smaller XZ plane inside of a larger XZ plane. So what we're going to do, remember this is a 3D plane, so our circle is going to be an oval. So I'm just going to mark, this is the halfway point on the Z side. This is the halfway point on the X. Halfway. I'm going to mark the same points on the bottom plane. Remember, everything corresponds to everything else. So, okay, so these are kind of the points that we want our oval to go through, right? So it just kind of helps us draw kind of a circle. Again, it's going to be slanted like an oval. This is freehand. Okay, that looks a little better. So we're going to draw the same thing on the bottom. Okay, the bottom one probably looks better. This is a little too straight. I want to kind of curve out. Okay. All right. So what we can do is we can take our ruler or straight edge and we can now attach or connect the two sides. So if I take, I'm going to connect the corresponding sides to close out our cylinder. Okay, so I'm actually going to draw this small cylinder on a separate graph here so you can see it. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to draw a large circle, a larger cylinder in the larger XY plane. So I'm going to show that on a separate graph, separate drawing. So now we have, this is the main drawing where we're going to put everything on. But it looks, again guys, with the lines and the planes, looks kind of confusing. So what I did, I drew the small cylinder on a separate piece of graph paper, and I drew the larger one. Okay, now the cool thing is we're going to do the exact same thing on each drawing, but I thought it would be easier if I just split it up. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the smaller drawing first, which is kind of like the axle. Okay, it's kind of acts like the axle in the Willen axle. But we're going to look at this. What we're going to do now is we're going to take the small cylinder, which, keep in mind, that is the inside cylinder that I drew separate here. Okay, we're gonna space out the little rungs. Okay, guys, these are actually called threads, but we're gonna space out the threads. We're gonna say we're gonna make a thread every 3 boxes. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, we're gonna start at the top here, and then the way I'm gonna do this, I'm just gonna count 1, 2, 3, and this is where we're gonna stop, and then 1, 2, 3. This is where we're going to stop, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is where we're going to stop, and 1, 2, 3, and this is where we're going to stop. Okay, so now what we've done, guys, we have 2 points. We're going to freehand another arc in the same way that we did the ovals here. We're going to draw from the dot here to the first dot, and then from the dot here to this dot. Okay, this dot here is going to be connected, and I'm actually going to turn my paper here. Okay, so that's going to help me draw a little arc up. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and now this dot is going to go to that one, and then 1, 2, 3, this dot is going to go to this one, and then this dot is going to, see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, this dot is going to go to this one. Okay, so we have kind of this is almost like a barbershop type pole. Okay, all right, so this is the small cylinder. We're going to do the same thing for the large cylinder. For the large cylinder, we are going to also do the same thing. We're going to space out our threads by 3 boxes, and we're just going to make little threads here, little rungs. If we show that, we're going to start right up here at the top, and we're going to go 3 boxes. So this is kind of in the middle of the box. Okay, but it doesn't matter. We're going to stay on this line and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, make a dot on this side and make a dot on the other side. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, make a dot on this side, make a dot on the other side. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, here, here, and then 1, 2, 3. This is off my cylinder, but it doesn't matter. We're also going to make a dot right here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to turn my paper and we're going to connect the dots here. Okay, we're going to draw a little rung like we drew arcs on the cylinders. So we're going to go something like this, something like this. Okay, so we have rungs like something like this. All right, I'm going to transfer this to our main drawing and let's see how it looks. Before I darken any lines, we first need to add the back rung. Remember, this thread goes around and it loops around and it goes down, loops around. Okay, so we need to add the little back shelf back there so we can pretend that we are connecting this point and this point because this is the next thread, right? So pretend that you're drawing a arc between those 2 points. It's going to loop a little bit and it's going to go down like that, okay? And then this one is going to loop up and it's going to go down. We're going to take this ring around. Okay, we're going to stop it right above where the inside rung or thread stops. So we're going to draw an arc from here to here. Okay, that's going to be our rung. We're going to do the same thing for this one. So we're going to draw a little thread here that goes something like that. Okay, and same thing here. I'm going to draw a little thread here that goes something like that. Okay, so that thread disappears behind the inside cylinder. And this little distance here, that's the thickness of the thread. Okay, so it wraps around, wraps around, wraps around, and again, if we were extending this, it would go to the next dot over there. Okay, so this in our mind is extending there. All right, so that's one big arc. All right, I've erased the lines that you wouldn't see here. So this is all thread. Okay, and it connects to the inside cylinder. Okay, so I erased that line that was there. All right, so this is one surface, all one surface. All right, all one surface. All right, now guys, we need to take care of what's happening on the left side. Okay, it's really quite simple. We're simply gonna, this wraps around. So this is coming around. Again, we can extend it now, okay, because it's happening on the other side. So if I take this, just make it kind of wrap around. Okay, so if I extend that, then it would be something like that. Okay, and this would be something like that. Okay, and this would be something like that. Okay, so now we have the left side, the thread. Again, this is all one surface, wrapping around, wrapping around, wrapping around. And this is probably too high. again, in your mind, it's going like that, so it's going down. Something like that. Okay. All right, so you kind of see the screw at this point, the wraparound. Okay. So I'm going to, let's see, get that. I'm going to clean this up a little bit more. I think I need to fix this line here. I erased a lot. I'm leaving this little bottom here. This is the kind of the inside cylinder. We're gonna leave that, and just because a real screw or bolt does have a little bit of straight edge at the end, but let's see if we can add a top. For the screw head, we're just gonna add another circle. So we're going to add another XY plane, XZ plane. We're just going to go one up, and we're going to add just a cylinder at the top just to give it a little depth. Okay, so I've drawn another XZ plane directly above the first one that we drew. Okay, it's kind of hard to see, but we're just going to draw another circle, another oval in the top plane. So I've made marks. This is the middle. This is the middle, this is the middle, and this is the middle. So we're simply going to make arcs like we did before, okay, all the way around to connect the dots, and we're just going to add a height, okay. We have the top circle drawn, and now a lot of this is going to get erased, guys, but we're just going to connect the corresponding sides to make a little short cylinder, and we're going to erase everything that's in there. So I made it to look like a flathead screw. Okay, I'll leave it up to you to figure out how to get the little cut in the top. And that's it. This is your screw. You may want to make, I could have made the head a little bit bigger, but it's fine. And I'm going to go back and darken this up with the marker. Now I can do the marker. All the lines are there, and it'll really stand out. Let's see. Now this is the outlined screw, and what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to copy this on white paper, I think. I'm going to take a picture and see if I can brighten up the background and see if I can get it on a slide. So what I've done is I've copied the screw onto a sheet of white paper, and I've added some shading. And so now we're ready to take a photo, brighten it up, and insert it on a slide.